decided to add the grandfather clock from Stranger Things 4, even though the show hasn't even came out yet for another year. So it was released in 2022 in May, and our haunt was 2021 in October. But we had little trailers and teasers for it, so we decided to introduce this grandfather clock. True fans really appreciated it. And the main reason for this clock was to use it as a projector cover. Some way to protect our projector from the elements, to hide it from the viewers. And this wasn't my idea. This was my son Liam's idea. So what we did is we took the time to try to find this clock. I spent a couple months trying to find it. And lo and behold, one day we found it finally in a thrift store. Unfortunately, the one that was the grandfather clock was more like $600, and I did not want to spend that money to just rip apart a clock. So the next best thing, which was right next to it, was an old cabinet. It had some glass and mirrors, and I thought, you know what? This might work. But it was also October 15th, and it was a prop I wasn't planning on making. So this is the cabinet we bought at the thrift store. This is what it looked like with the mirror in the back. That's me, of course. And it was time to just take it apart. I did not want a mirror or glass on the outside of my haunt. So I ripped up the little rubber linings, little pieces that were glued in there to hold the glass. So after I ripped all those out, the glass pieces just popped out, and I kept those to use as templates for cutting out some of the cardboard that I needed to replace that glass. Okay, we took the glass out of the sides. Now we need to take the mirror out of the back. Now that I gutted most of it, I'm just gonna cut where the pole for the projection stand is gonna be. So this should be fun. The main reason why I had to cut a hole in the bottom of this cabinet or clock was I could slide it over our pole for the projector. And I needed it big enough that I can push it as far back, and it still wasn't wide enough, and I ended up having to use some corrugated plastic to cover it, but it was black and you couldn't see it with the lighting. Plexiglass that will go right here on the inside. I just have to do it on the inside. We had it pre-cut at Lowe's and measured to make sure it would fit. So by God, I hope it fits. Even a little longer than I needed, but we can cut that. And so, perfect. That is so cool. So the whole goal is to print out a picture of a clock and put it on here, and the projector will be in here facing out that way, and you all will see this front side. The sides I'm going to use fabric for now, just so there's ventilation for the projector. I could probably put wood in it and even drill some holes for ventilation, just to keep it a little bit more weatherproof. But for now, I'm doing this as fast as I can with what I got. So I kept the leftover glass from the cabinet clock, and I'm going to cut out some black, this is just foam board that I'm going to replace with the glass. So the top part of my grandfather clock needs to be ventilated because we're using it actually as a projection cover. The whole purpose is to hide our projector, yet it looks freaking cool on our front porch, so who knows what will happen. I want to put a speaker in there too, so I can't just completely close it off. So I got this, it was on sale, it was 25% off, and I'm going to cut a hole in this foam board, black foam board, and I'm going to glue that lace on the back side of that and then pop it in there. So then it has ventilation, and you can also hear the speaker. You know what this project is missing? A good pumpkin cider. Yummy, 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 yummy in my tummy. Now that it is all glued and I even taped it, I'm going to run a bead of glue in the clock and staple gun it in the side. Here is one side finished, and that will give it nice ventilation for the projector. And here's the other side, which we're just gonna pop right into there, just like we did with that one. All right, now for the clock part. So this is in fact just a cabinet that I'm turning into a grandfather clock. And how can I do that as cheaply as possible and fast as possible? Because it is October 14th, and I didn't think I'd be making projects right now during October 14th. I thought I was done with all my props. So we're doing this as fast as we can, simple, and as cheap as we can. So we went on the internet, found some pictures of grandfather clocks, pretty much took a picture, printed it out, and I have a feeling this is way too big, and I'm kind of bummed now. But what we did was we measured the clock outside and how big we thought we needed it. Might look a little funky and spooky because it's like overly proportioned and weird, but I'm a little worried that it's gonna look a little out of proportion and weird, honestly. Guess is whatever. We're trying to do this as fast and cheap as possible. So I got this plexiglass over at Lowe's and had it pre-cut for the size that we needed for the clock. I decided to use this stuff called Yes Paste. I use it for my collages. I'm at least just gonna do the sides and the edges just to get it to stick. In fact, next year, if I ever see a broken grandfather clock or something, maybe I'll just take the face of it off. But I'm gonna use clear packaging tape for the top part here. Yeah, you can kind of see it, but not really. That's that. Definitely gives it a goldish hue to it. Will go, if I don't push the damn thing over, it will go in like that. So, I can't see it. I do not know what it looks like. I kind of suck. Does it look okay? Is it too big? Is it wonky? Is it weird? Is it unproportioned? It's Halloween. So I'm just trying to fill in the sides right now. Filming. That will go there after I cut it, of course. I'm gonna put that in there a little bit. This goes on the outside. Just gives a little bit more depth. And then I have another piece that will go right in here because grandfather clocks usually have wood here and then the dingle-dongles. I don't know if in the video at all. So some of the last things I needed to do was the details. I needed to make the donger things, I don't know what they're called. Instead of making them, I ended up using chalk. These were the little balls that needed to go on the top of the clock. I just painted them black and brushed them with some like gold paint. They worked. I glued them on there with some hot glue gun and it just gave that little bit of detail. There's my little gold balls. There they are, all finished. It looks like the one from Stranger Things now. Well, it's officially finished. Full day's work. That's a chalk drawing. I'm putting a light in there and I didn't want the light to shine through the bottom part, so that's my cheap way of figuring that out. And there's a light in there, so I'll see what it looks like tonight and we'll put it out front for the haunt. The video doesn't do it justice. What I see with my real eye looks totally different than what I'm filming. Unfortunately, my paper got a little wrinkly, So I'm going to have to fix that somehow.